Good evening. It is October the 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m. We're going to have a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of Brackett ISD. If everyone would please rise for a moment of silence and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving on to item number 2, is there any public comments to the board? No public comments at this time. We want item number 3, recognitions. Ms. Diaz.
Awesome. We're going to get started today by recognizing a very special group of students who has been working very hard within our community and even within surrounding communities. So it's our Brackett FFA chapter. They also have a presentation that they would like to provide to the board in regards to all the things that they've been doing. But before they do their presentation, I would like to present them with a certificate of excellence for all that you do with FFA. So if the principal, Mr. Jimenez, will join me, we will start by recognizing our president, Sadie Brennan, our vice president, Tucker Allen, our secretary, Caroline Duchamp, treasurer, Isaac Leos, assistant treasurer, Callie Harris, the reporter, Francisco Maciel, the historian for the group is Seth Falcon. The sentinel for the group is Dee de la Cruz. The student advisor is Adelina Garza. And the chaplain for the group is Mr. Jack Lewis. So this group has been working very hard under the direction of Mrs. Gabriela Garza. And so tonight we would like to present to you a little bit about what the FFA chapter is all about. So it is all yours, ladies and gentlemen. Sadie, would you like the podium?
Put it here on the side.
Good evening, board members. We wanted to present to you all today because we feel like we don't put ourselves out there as much as we should. We've been doing a lot this year, and we wanted you guys to see everything that we've been up to and have a better understanding of what we do as a chapter. So I want to start by doing a recap of what we've done so far this year. So the first thing we did for our school year was attending the Texas FFA State Convention in Fort Worth. This is a really big trip that we take every year. It's for about a week. And we get to attend business sessions where 2 delegates for our chapter get to go and vote actually on business that takes place. Leadership workshops, keynote speakers, there's a job and a college fair, and other chapter bonding experiences. There was over 60,000 FFA members there this year, so we got to meet a lot of new people. And this experience allowed for a lot of team bonding among our officers, a deeper understanding of the FFA organization and why it's important to us, and it allowed us to be excited for the new year. And it allowed us to have opportunities to plan and have new ideas. We met with other chapters and we could grow up on their ideas. And it gave us an eye-opening perspective into the opportunities that FFA will allow its members. We've had 2 chapter meetings so far, one on September 4th and one on October 7th. We discussed chapter level business, we had icebreakers to help on with our chapter. And we also attended Green Hand Camp on September 10th. So our Green Hands are FFA members who are preparing to receive their first degree of membership. These are 8th graders and freshmen that are in their first year of an FFA class. And Green Hand Camp is held every year to help teach about the FFA organization and demonstrate the opportunities that can with them. We also recently had our first Prospect Cattle Show, September 13th and 14th. We had 2 Brackett ISD students that showed steers. We also helped build the burning of the DHS sign. So students in Mr. Abby's welding classes donated rags and helped put together the sign that we used to burn. And most recently, our livestock classes went to, Ms. Garza's livestock classes went to the Southwest Livestock Exchange on October 7th, and they got to learn about the auction, they got to learn about livestock production and how people make a living off of it. So I want to turn the time over to Addie to talk about our career events.
Preparing for fall leadership development events are designed to build leadership, professional, social, and presentation skills in settings that will prepare them for careers in agricultural leadership. Radio broadcasting is a team of 3 members that presents an informative radio program covering 1 or more agricultural subjects that is current in nature and local content. This contest assumes that the chapter has a regularly scheduled non-commercial radio program once each month over local stations. Job interview. At the competition, each member submits their resume, completes a job application for an agricultural position on site, and participates in an interview via telephone, in person, one-on-one, and with a panel of possible employers. Another one is Creed. A member presents the FFA Creed for memory either in Spanish or English and answers questions about its meaning and purpose. This event is just one way to boost self-confidence, earn recognition, and develop powerful, organized, and professional communication skills. The last one is quiz, an exam testing team members' understanding of the FFA agricultural education, current agriculture events, and parliamentary procedures given. Teams can be made of 3 or 4 members. And the few last ones are working on ag projects. Students are researching, measuring, drawing, and developing working blueprints, plan of procedures, and bills of materials that will allow them to create a show-worthy project. They are then using those plans to build a project that they will take to county and or above level shows. Working with livestock projects. Students are raising, training, and caring for their animals. Goats, pigs, sheep, cattle, chickens, and rabbits are included. They're developing feeding programs, keeping records, and managing finances, and learning how to be children. Some upcoming events that we have are the November chapter meeting on November 17th at 7 p.m. And we have the Recaldina District of the East, which is November 5th. Students will compete in an above listed competitions in the valley. Next, we have the King County Junior Livestock Show Scholarship Gala. We raise money for the KCJLS Scholarship. It is open to seniors who have showed for the last 2 years. Applicants will be required to give a speech at the KCJLS on January 2nd through 3rd, and officers will serve at the gala.
So that's about, so we have going on, what we've been doing so far this year. Do you have any questions for us?
No, but I would like to recognize some of the gentlemen that just walked in. So I think we have Isaac Leos, treasurer, and Dean De La Cruz, the sentinel. So if y'all will come up and get your certificates. And then the board may have some questions or comments. Thank you guys for all you do with scholarship programs. Thank you. It was a great presentation, lots of great stuff. So we appreciate all that you do and how well you represent our school. If all the members will come forward with their sponsors, and Mr. Jimenez will grab a quick picture. Good job, guys. Kind of squeeze in there. Some of y'all might have to kind of squat in front maybe. A little bit. Bend just a bit.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. And then this month is also Principals Month. So we do recognize and honor our principals, and I've asked the secondary FFA to present a small token of appreciation to Mr. Jimenez.
We'd like to present this token as a thank you for everything you do, not just our education, but resources.
It's a beautiful picture.
Yeah, you come over. Picture time in the middle. Take the money. You can present. So, Mr. Jimenez, in recognition of your outstanding leadership, unwavering dedication, and tireless commitment to the success of our students, staff, and school community, your vision, compassion, and integrity make a lasting difference in the lives of those you serve. We proudly celebrate and thank you for your exceptional service as a school leader. We thank you. Thank you for all you do. And then we also have another special group of students who actually just got out of school at 6 o'clock. That is how committed they are to our school. It is a group of students who were at our ACE program, and they're here with our ACE director, Mrs. Luna. And they have a special presentation that they would like to give their principal, Mr. Miller.
Looky there. Look at that. Well, thank you all very, very much. Look at all this.
We just wanted to say thank you for all that you do and for supporting us, and you're a great principal. And Lucian also has something to say.
I do thank you for being our principal. I don't think we could have such a strong school and a good one without you.
Yeah!
asked if it's from the elementary staff.
Wow, all right. Look at all that.
Do you want to share?
Well, I gotta hold this
Yeah,
up.
you guys take your pictures, Mr. Miller, and Mr. Chair. In honor of National Principals Month, thank you for all that you do for us. We
Thank you.
appreciate you. All right, y'all ready?
Come here, Lucian, come here, please. There you go.
1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Thank you. All right. All right, thank you. All right. There you go. Oh, yeah, I guess I'm.
So thank you, A students and FFA students for being with us tonight, and parents who joined them, thank you very much. Is ACE everything? Is that
All right, we're moving on to item number 4, consent agenda. Going to be reading minutes of the previous meeting, September the 11th, and donations.
Would you like for me to read out the donations?
Yes, ma'am.
So our donations are under 4B, and the first one is a donation for athletics from Tim and Debbie Ward for $1,000. And then the second one was from Tim and Debbie Ward for the band in the amount of $1,000. Chad Parson, a donation for FFA, sponsors were Gabby Bars in Jackson Abbey, and that donation was a value of $500. The donation was actually a Yorkshire pig. Then we had, in the spring, we had our junior high athletics fundraiser. And so the donations in the spring came in for a total of $9,552. And the organization that we work with for this donation did send us the list of all the people who pledged and followed through with their pledge and made a donation. So there's several pages of the people who pledged and sent in their pledges for that spring donation.
So for 11 pages and things. So.
And then we did the fan pledge again in the fall, in August. And so our fan pledge donation brought in $10,497 for athletics. And we did include the list of all the names. This is the way the company sends it to us once the project has been closed out. And then the final donation was for football meals, and it was an anonymous donation. They asked for the name not to be read or listed, and it was in the amount of $600, which will go for football meals. So that concludes our donations.
Very nice. Yeah.
The fan pledge, is that the only company that does this?
That's the company that reached out to us that we started using, but I don't believe they're the only ones that do it, just because I get other requests from other
I mean,
districts.
because when I was looking at this, these kids raised $12,000, and the fees for that, they charged us just shy of $1,900, which is somewhere over about 6%. So that's why I'm, is there another company that would lower their fees for these kids? Because that's kind of that's a big hit for these kids to take $1,900.
We can definitely look into it. I do know that there are other companies, just because I have family that attends other school districts, and I get the phone calls and the text messages all the time for 2 different ones. So we can definitely look. This was the first year that we actually did it, so we can shop around.
No, that was a lot, the fees that they charge.
Everybody else good? I move to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Moving on to item number 5. 5B. Ms. Diaz.
So we did conclude our first 6 weeks on September 26th. So what I did this time, a little different than last year, was below the report is the comparison to last year. So the handwritten one, I pulled up last year's report, and then so that way we can make the comparison. Some areas are lower, some areas are higher. If you look at the actual last page, you'll see where overall there really wasn't too much of a change. Last year, at the end of the first 6 weeks, we were at 96.4. This year, we're at 96.3. So again, meeting the goal of being above 96. However, what I wanted you to make note of is if you look at the very bottom, it says total refined ADA. So even though our attendance rate percentage was the same, okay, the drop in ADA was significant because of our drop in enrollment. So our ADA went from 476 with a 96% attendance to 457 with a 96% attendance. And so you all are aware, as we went through the budget process, that ADA is how we generate funds. And so we always use our best estimate when we're calculating what our revenue is going to be. So a little bit later on, we will have a budget amendment because our estimated revenue is significantly less. Our revenue is less than what it was estimated to be.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Who's doing, I know Mr. Solis did it one time, who's doing truancy now?
It's multiple people right now. We have Diana Flores helping us with truancy. Our migrant numbers have dropped significantly. Like we used to have 10 migrant kids. I think right now we're down to 1. And so she was our migrant liaison. And so we kind of reshuffled some job duties. So she's helping us a lot more with attendance.
And it's been, I'm assuming they continue to be fruitful?
I think so.
Knocking on doors and calling?
Knocking on doors, calling, we do the school messenger app. I think that we're not seeing truancy issues.
Yeah.
Okay, what we're seeing is just a lot of what I would call singletons, you know. So it just happens to be you're absent once, you're absent once, you're absent once. And so it's not a truancy issue. We have a lot of singletons that end up causing an attendance issue. And then with the smaller numbers, like there was one class, there was one class that we looked at that was like at 95%. Well, that was 3 kids absent, you know. So it's not that it's this large number of kids, it's just when you have such a small pool, one student makes a world of difference, really impacts it.
Thank you.
Moving on to 5C, Ms. Diaz.
So 5C is our chapter 313. So we received 2 of our chapter 313 invoices, and so these are payments that are going to come to Brackett ISD. So because of the chapter 313 that we're in with Alamo, we will be receiving $43,749. That is what comes back to Brackett. And then for Zier Solar, if you open up that one, we will be receiving $355,815. These numbers, however, were already calculated in the budget, so this isn't additional money. So what last year, if you recall, it was additional money because we didn't know we were going to get it. But then last year they sent us a spreadsheet indicating the projections for future years. So because we have those projections, we went ahead and included it in the budget. So this is not extra money. This is money that we were already expecting. And in one of them, I think it's Zero Solar, it's actually a little bit less than the projected. So again, we over budgeted how much we were going to get back from Zero, so our budget taking another hit there.
Anybody?
Okay. So 5D just says parent and required postings under website. So we've been working with Mr. Munoz and David Gassa on updating the website. These two areas we feel are pretty much verified and complete. So if you go to the school website and you go under the parent link, you now will find all the handbooks, you'll find the district and campus improvement plan, everything that needs to be there for the campus under the parents is there. And then if you go under the required postings, since we've revised stuff, now all our required postings are there. There was a little bit of time during the summer where like our DOI plan wasn't up and our district improvement plan wasn't up. Our financial audits were down for a little bit. But the parent and required postings are up. In visiting with technology, we feel like for the most part, now it's just maintaining. So our website should be fully functional, and it's just now maintaining anytime we have any changes.
Actually, it's really good.
Thank
It's a
you.
lot easier to navigate to, very clean, okay.
We went in-house, so Mr. Garza, David Garza has done a substantial amount of work and take down and put back up, and we'll maybe not like that and change it. So we're still navigating through it. But thank you. I think we pass that on to him.
5E.
Those are just all the department reports. All my admins here, if you have a specific question. The only one that wasn't going to be present tonight was Mr. Munoz. He did let me know he had an engagement. So there are questions for any of the admin.
Any major behavioral issues, Mr. Jimenez? The high school, Mr. Jimenez?
We've had some issues, very limited, but we had one that was, just putting it at DA.
Okay. How many are there today?
0.
That's good. They're behaving.
They are.
Moving on. Number 6, action items. 6A. Ms. Diaz.
Can we come back to it? Ms. Ashley's not here yet.
Tabling 6A. 6B.
So 6B is an annual that we do as per DNA local. The performance appraisal of the evaluation of teachers, we use T-test. The district shall appraise teachers using the Texas Teacher Evaluation and Support System, T-test, in accordance with the law and administrative guidelines. The board shall approve a list of certified appraisers who can appraise a teacher in place of the teacher's supervisor. This year, more than ever, T-test is going to be very critical as we move into applying to be a district where we're going to do the teacher incentive allotment. 50%, when the plan is all said and done, usually comes from some sort of point system measure on T-test. So we do have 4 T-test appraisers, our 2 principals, and then myself and Mrs. Price act as alternates. So it is the recommendation of the administration to approve the 25-26 T-test appraisers as presented.
Do I have a motion to accept the administrator's recommendation?
I make a motion to accept administrators.
Claudia makes a motion, Memo seconds. Any discussion? No discussion, all those approve it? Unanimous. 6C.
6C is the TPES appraisal system, and so DNB, Local Performance Appraisal Evaluation of Campus Administrators, and we use this for campus and district administrators. The district shall appraise principals using the Texas Principal Evaluation Support System, TPES, in accordance with the law and administrative regulations. The appraisal system used for campus administrators other than principals shall be determined by each administrator's position and job responsibility and consist of a local appraised system developed in accordance with the law and administrative regulations or a modified version of TPES. So that's what we have. I have an evaluation system that I use for the principals and then a modified version that I use for the district admin. District principals and other campus district administrators are appraised annually. There is a list of who is appraised by me that is attached, and it is the recommendation of the administration to approve the 25-26 TPES appraiser as presented.
Do I have a motion to accept the administrator's recommendation?
I make the motion to accept.
Claudia makes a motion,
I'll second.
no seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. 6D.
6D is to revise and take action on policy FFAA. And if you open that up, that is the wellness and health services policy, specifically under head lice, specifically item number 2. It says, upon review of the situation, the nurse will send a letter home to parents or guardians or of other students who are assigned to the same, and it said elementary classroom. And so the recommendation is that we take out elementary, because regardless if they're in elementary or secondary, if they're in the same classroom with someone who is found to have lice, then we want to notify them no later than not later than the 5th day of school after the date on which the nurse determines or becomes aware of that fact. We do take action, we don't wait the 5 days, we take action immediately once it's been determined that there is a case. So it is the recommendation of the administration to approve the revisions of the Administrative Guidelines and Regulations Policy FFAA as presented.
Do I have a motion to accept the administrator's recommendation?
I make the motion to accept administrator's recommendation.
Claudia makes a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
No seconds. Any discussion?
I have one question.
Yes.
Go for it.
If a child comes to school with lice, and this may be a little extreme, would that be considered a neglect issue that would have to be looked into?
Possibly. So we have had issues where it does become a neglect or negligence if the student is not treated or it happens multiple times. So we take everything on a case-by-case basis and make a decision from there.
Thank you.
No more discussion, take a vote, all those in favor? Unanimous. Moving on to 6F.
So, in the new legislative session, House Bill 3546, the governing body of the independent school district that holds its general elections for office on a date other than the November uniform election date may change the date on which it holds its general election for the officers to the November uniform election date. I did bring this to the board as an item that was part of the House bill, all the list that showed all the changes that were coming up in the House bill. And I did request that if anybody wanted this to be brought to the board, to please send an email so it could be discussed with the board. I did receive an email that there was a recommendation to move the election from May to November. My comments would just be that when we've had board elections in May, sometimes it can be challenging for the May board members to get the information needed in regards to budget. So I think if you've just been recently elected, we did a quick orientation and we try to get you caught up on budget as much as possible, but by then we already had a budget workshop And so sometimes I feel like it may be difficult for a board member to have a full understanding of the budget process and then be expected to vote on the budget just a month later. The other thing is that there is a little bit of cost savings when we do our elections in May. We rent out the machines. The machines cost was about $2,600. If we do the November election, we do not have to do the renting of the machines. So thinking it over with those two items, it is the recommendation of the administration to move the school board of trustees general election to the November uniform election date.
Do I have a motion to accept the administrator's recommendation?
I make a motion to approve.
Memo makes the motion, is there a second?
I second.
Edwin seconds. Any discussion?
As a new board member, that was a lot of information overload, so I could totally see the benefits of that. And it does save our school money to do it in November. That's just my observation.
That actually meant a lot, because I was gonna say, optics wise, it doesn't look great, because May is gonna be 3 open seats. I mean, it only pushes it back 5 months or 6 months, but I really wanted to hear what you had to say on it, just so, because you are the newest board member that got on in May, so I wanted to hear your stance on it, so.
And I
I
think
can get behind that and support it.
no one understands that situation that like we did. If I felt that same way when I got here, I was, hey, you know, like a way, like freaking out about
And you
fireworks.
have then we have the,
Going to San
yeah,
Antonio.
and so it's.
And we even had graduation, you know, and so there's May is just, it's a lot to come into so quickly, so,
But on the other foot, those that are leaving are going to SLI for nothing. Those that aren't gonna run in November
that's correct.
will be going to SLI that
Unless,
we would also be spending money for
But
them.
then, oh, my.
unless the board chose to not do the San Antonio SLI. And there's one in the fall that's in Dallas, that's by TASB, and then now Region 20 is offering theirs. But that is a.
I don't have, I just think those that are service should still be able to leave in May if they want. And then when you get your new, next year, November, because you're adding another 6 to 7 months to somebody who thinks, if they wanna leave in May, I don't think we should tonight say, you're not getting off in May, you're gonna stay till November now.
Leave it to the individual.
So I think if you still have a quorum, then, you know, whoever's up in November, if they don't wanna, I mean, next May, if they don't wanna be held till November,
Correct.
they
But
should
they would
have the
actually-
option.
And they would. So, and that's with anybody, okay? So anybody can notify us that they're not gonna finish out their term. If this passes tonight, their term is extended until November.
Correct.
So if they choose to leave in May, that's fine. They would write saying that it's their choice to leave in November. Then we have to, like we've done before, where we have to put it out and we have to do letters of interest. And then the board can decide to pick up the next person, like if we wanted to use the old, the previous election, we usually have 3 options. So you can pick up the person who was next from the previous election. We can do letters of intent, and then I bring those to the board, and the board reviews, and then we vote.
I think our policy says you go with the first runner-up. And if there wasn't an election, then you take the letters of intent. So if somebody wanted to leave, you would go whoever will Tully and ask if he would like to.
We go that far back.
Huh?
We go that far
We
back.
go back to
The most recent, that's the
You
most
go to the
recent.
most recent election, whoever was the first
That
runner-up.
would be a time.
And then if there was no election, then you go to letters of intent.
So there's no statute of limitations on that.
Because it's within the year,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. So it's always the most recent. But I agree, I don't think anybody should be forced to stay if their intent is not to stay. And it would just be a matter of, we do bring it to the board, and the board votes to accept, I think that's how we did it the last time, accept their resignation.
But in that thought, no one is forced to be here at this moment.
Correct. And that stands for everybody right now.
We're all here, well, I can't speak on anybody, I'm here in my own free will.
Out of curiosity, because this isn't anything new, and going to SLI, I know there's some school districts that have this, so why now? Why is this a push to?
Because the legislature changed.
No, this is new. This was part of one of the new House bills for school boards.
I've gone to SLI and I know some had said we would have a November election. The first SLI I went to, there was some in my group that said that were November elections.
We've always been May.
Yeah, so, let me pull up how it read, key bills. So it was
And I know from their comments, it was like, well, this makes more sense doing this a lot. It's a,
I remember that now.
Yes, so it was House Bill 3546 and Senate Bill 1494, November election date, permits school districts to change to the November uniform election date and adjust terms. So maybe it was, now they just put it into law, that it's something they can do, to whereas before maybe it was just a local policy.
Optional.
I think what they put into law is giving those that are not in the May election, in the November election, to move it to the
Right.
November.
So it says permit school districts to change to the November uniform election date and adjust terms.
Has it always been in May, Jesse?
Since I've been here,
Can we table this?
Mhm.
Or do-
No, the decision does not have to be made today. It would just have to be made before the May election if we're gonna make a change.
I would like to have just a little bit more opinion from my senior board members to really feel confident about that. I have my opinion, but I would like to hear more. We don't have to hear now.
No, I mean, for me, it's fine, I just don't want, say, them, like, and Memo's already said he'll stay, but when it comes to May, if they say, I don't want it, now you're gonna be here till November.
Well, Matt and I
Yeah,
are the
yeah,
same,
they're
so we
saying-
still.
I mean,
Ricky.
Just Ricky.
Ricky, I'm sorry, Witt and Memo, that three, they're up.
Yeah.
We're extending them by 6, 7 months, and,
Everybody's gonna be extended. Everybody that's here now can be extended. Everybody.
Both have pros and cons. I mean, the whole budget thing is the biggest thing, and having it in
Correct.
November is a huge, so you start from the beginning and it's not a crash course and then
Yeah.
you're.
You come in August and see the budget in action, and then when we start talking about drafting a budget and creating a budget, you've had a year to see it.
I think that's the most important part. That's the most important part. And if you don't know, you can either choose not to participate, which is unfair to the person, or you have more knowledge where you can make an educated decision.
Okay.
Well, y'all are all very helpful in that process for me, so I didn't feel lost. But, you know, having more background would have been,
You're better
Okay, got a first and a second, got our discussion. All those in favor of changing the election to November? Raise your hand. Unanimous. 6G.
Okay, so, 6G, Brackett ISD's voting entitlement for the elections of persons to serve as the directors of Kinney County Appraisal District is based on the percentage levy. Okay, so that's how we get our number of votes. Tonight, I am coming to the board seeking direction if the board would like for me to seek some legal opinion on the levy calculation for Brackett ISD. And what I included was the 23 levy percentage. So we had 54% of the levy, and that meant that we got 1,612 votes. Okay. And then if you look at 24, we went to 49% of the levy and dropped to 994 votes. The drop in votes was what caught my attention, and so then I did ask Ms. Garza to work the mathematical part behind it to see if we could calculate like why the discrepancy. And we really couldn't find a match, like we couldn't figure out where the significant drop had come from. Now, granted, we're not the appraisal district. They may have formulas that we don't understand or that we're not privy to. I definitely don't want them to feel like we're accusing them of anything. However, you know, there was this significant change. And so we can move forward because tonight, the next agenda item is to use our votes to vote in our person for the appraisal district. So we can continue and just move forward. We still do have the most allotted votes. Or I can send this to somebody else for review. Like I said, Amalia did do a little bit of number crunching. If you have, she might be able to share or give you a little bit more information.
Well, sorry.
Do you know motion first?
So there's not a motion, except to get some guidance. So the administration is just seeking direction if the board would like the motion is, do you want me to seek legal opinion on the levy calculation?
Do I have a motion to accept the administrative recommendation?
I second.
No one makes a motion. Claudia seconded. Discussion time.
Ms. Garza, with the fact that, because fortunately for everyone, the taxes have gone down, homestead anyways, so because the taxes are going down, because the legislature, do you think that affects the numbers, the votes?
It could affect the math. So what I did is use their legal description of how it's corrected, property tax, how it's calculated, property tax code 603, and I translated it to a formula in Excel, and I plugged their own numbers in there. And that's what I was trying to compare and where I was finding the differences. So I'm not sure, like Ms. Diaz explained, whether it's my interpretation of the law or whether we're missing a portion of the levy, because when you add all the levies that they present on the first letter, it doesn't add up to 100%. And then when you calculate some of the votes, they're not also mathematically.
Right, I just did. So I'm like, something's wrong.
But the city of Brackett ISD got more votes this time than last year.
Correct.
Right, and it could be with the
Percentage
division or the math.
The percentage went up from city Brackett in 23 was at 0.02%, and city of Spofford was at 0.0005%, which was 15 votes and 60 votes.
It may even be where Amalia and I could just start by asking maybe the CAD or somebody from the CAD to come and talk to us, because like I said, there may be just a missing piece that we're not understanding, and if they can help us understand how it was calculated. But then if we still have questions, we can submit it over to legal to just kind of take a look at it.
Right, because I used just the numbers they presented and just created the math behind it.
I mean, it's gonna benefit the district, I say, my suggestion is we go forward, if it's gonna benefit the district. I don't know how the votes, but I know the votes. Affect the district.
Go forward with what?
Getting legal.
Legal, I mean, it's better to know not to know.
Maybe we should ask a little bit more information before we jump into legal, maybe get those questions answered, and then if we're not satisfied with that, maybe take the next step into legal. Jesse, is this the position that you are now in charge of?
No, that's the next item, is to give them, so that's kind of why I put it ahead, because the next item is for us to give them our votes.
When
So
is-
that, what if that's not the right calculated number of votes that we are, that
Oh,
were
so-
allotted?
So we need to make a decision.
When do we have to have
December 15th.
so we can put it on November's meeting? Okay, so I can make a motion to table 6H until the November meeting.
So we're not gonna vote for him.
But we're gonna vote for 6G, for me to go ahead and, investigate.
6G is to get information, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
validate the numbers.
To validate the numbers.
Are we gonna still be able to vote tonight to give the votes?
I would say if we're gonna wait to validate the numbers, then we should table it, and
Okay.
then, because we have till December 15th, and that way if there's a change, then
Numbers.
the numbers would change. Because it may not just affect ours, it may affect the numbers for other entities. So then, it is the recommendation of the administration to validate the numbers prior to moving on.
All those in favor of validating the numbers before we proceed to 6H?
I'll make
Oh, very,
Okay.
unanimous. So 6H has now been tabled. 6I.
So 6I is an annual item that we bring. A district may designate a day on which the district's administrative offices are closed or operating within minimum staffing as a non-business day. Then the designation of a non-business day for a district must be made by the board. The district may designate not more than 10 non-business days under the subsequent subsection each year. So basically what we do is we look at some of our vacation days where the offices are closed, but others' offices may be open, and we designate those as non-business days for PIA requests, for grievances, for anything that states so many business days. If these days fall there, then those aren't considered business days. So it is the recommendation of the administration to designate the following days as non-business days in accordance with Texas Government Code Section 552.0031F for the 2026 calendar year. January 2nd, 2026, March 16th, 2026, March 17th, 2026, November 25th, 2026, November 26th, 2026, and November 28th, 2026. December 22nd, 2026, December 29th, 2026, December 30th, and December 31st of 2026.
Do I have a motion to accept the administrator's recommendation?
I make a motion to accept.
Memo makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Jesse seconds. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of moving the districts designated the following days as non-business days in accordance with Texas Governor Code Section 552.0031F for the 2026 calendar year, January 2nd, 2026, March 16th, 2026, March 17th, 2026, November 25th, 2026, November 26th, 2026, November 28th, 2026, December 22nd, 2026, December 29th, 2026, December 30th, 2026, and December 31st, 2026. All those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 6J.
6J, tonight I bring to you the letter of recommendation for the high school vestibule. This was our second safety project. The first safety project was the fence of the ag building, and then the second one was the vestibule. Originally, we had several projects, but then the packages came in way over budget, and so then we put them back out for bid. The fence was awarded and completed. The vestibule went back out. We did receive 2 bids. We do have the engineer on contract who reviewed the 2 bids. Based on the lowest bidder, the engineer's recommendation, and the complete package, it's the administration's recommendation that the high school vestibule project be awarded to DLP Construction Maintenance and Solution, LLC, in the amount of $65,987.
Do I have a motion to accept the administrator's recommendation?
I'll make the motion.
Jesse makes a motion.
That's second.
Memo seconds. Is there any discussion?
When will they start construction?
After this is approved, we'll let them know, and then we have a pre-construction meeting, but we were hoping the first week of November.
I did notice the DLP company was cheaper and they were 20 days shorter since we had to do it during school time.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
And there wasn't a very big difference in the in the two quotes,
Well, what's the time frame? I can't remember.
40 days.
40 days?
So we done by Christmas?
One was 40 days and one was 60.
It's gonna go right in the middle as you're in the high school.
And how many days off are we doing the Christmas holiday?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, 10.
Just right in the middle of the school. You know?
Yeah.
So,
December 1st, would be more, I hope.
No, because we want to try to use also the 5 days for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So then you've got 5 days of Thanksgiving, and then you've got the 2 weeks of Christmas, so that's 15 days. So about during half of the project, give or take, there'll be students.
Now, getting into the weeds, of course, I've been in high school numerous times. If it's in the middle, and you got a walkway where the kids go from the house, we're gonna be able to walk through.
No.
And
There'll be emergency exit doors, and we've already put badge readers on the 2 side doors. So the 2 side doors before didn't have badge readers, only they had to come in through the center. Now we've already added the badge reader to the outside doors, so they'll come out this way and do this.
There's only one way into one side and one way into the other side.
Yes. Well, not just one way, they have actually 2 ways. They have the front door and then they have the side door.
Oh, okay.
And the doors are up to safety code, right?
Yes.
They're aligned with our safety.
Yes.
So when I go there, they're gonna do a full search of me before I go in?
Actually, unless you have an appointment or a reason to be in the office, the vestibule includes the 2 walls, okay, and then, like the bank teller type, front,
With the walls like right now?
where the wall is, so that there will be glass, so if you're just dropping off a note, you drop off the note. If you're signing the kid out, you're gonna sign the kid out, put the paper back in, and we'll call for the kid, and the kid will come to the vestibule waiting area, and then they'll leave from there. So it should be very limited interaction with the parents, with visitors in the main office or in the building whatsoever.
So right now, when I go loiter in the area, talk to Mr.
No.
Yanez and everybody else.
No more loitering, sir.
That's it.
No.
so from the right side to the left side, you gotta come out.
And go through the other door.
That's why they come out.
But there are emergency doors, so the walls to the vestibule itself will have emergency doors with egress, okay? So in the case of an emergency, no one's gonna get stuck in the vestibule, because they'll have, the alarms will go off, there'll be emergency exit only doors. But yeah, so like if you're on this side, let's say where Mr. McCaskill's room is, and then you've got to go to Chica's, you'll come outside and then go into the other way.
Okay. All those in favor of awarding the vestibule project to the lowest bidder, DLP Construction Maintenance and Solution LLC, an amount of $65,987. Raise your hand. Unanimous. 6K.
So per CDA legal, the board shall review its investment policy and investment strategies not less than annually. The board shall adopt a written instrument by rule, order, ordinance, or resolution stating that it has reviewed the investment policy and the strategies, and that instrument is adopted and recorded with the changes that there's any. The recommendation from administration is to adopt a resolution indicating that the board has reviewed the investment policy and the investment strategies, and that the written instrument so adopted does not record any changes made either to the investment policy or the strategies. So we didn't make any changes to the investment policy or the strategies. But it's a requirement that we bring it every year to review it and look at it.
Do I have a motion to accept the administrator's recommendation?
I make the motion to accept.
Claudia makes a motion. Do I have a second? Edwina seconds. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor? Unanimous. 6L.
Per CCG legal, on receipt of the tax rate for the current tax year, the assessor per district calculates the tax imposed on each property that is included on the appraisal roll. So the CAD has already received that rate and they've added it to their roll. They enter that amount, then we bring the roll for board approval. The appraisal roll with amounts of tax entered as approved by board constitutes the district's tax roll. Basically, what everybody is getting billed for, as a total. So it is recommendation of administration to approve the 2025 certified tax roll for BISD as prepared by the assessor, who is the Kingman County appraisal district.
Is there a recommendation to approve the 2025 certified tax roll as presented by the administration?
I make a motion.
Member makes a motion. Jesse seconds. Is there any discussion? No discussion? All those in favor of approving the 2025 certified tax roll for BISD for CCG logo, raise your hand. Unanimous. 6M.
So 6M is action needed to amend our local DOI plan. If you open the first attachment, it's actually an email from legal from Hannah. And so with the new legislative update, there were some things that were required to be changed in our DOI. So our DOI was sent to her and reviewed, and then she added the provision for the grievance policies. So one of the new legislative bills stated that you could wait up to 90 days before filing a grievance, but then they said that you could DOI your district into not doing the 90 days and keeping it as is. So as is basically if there's an incident, they have 15 days from the incident to file the grievance. And then we have 10 days to respond, and then 10 days for the next level, and so on and so forth. So Hannah did recommend that we just keep our regular policy, so she put the correct wording in there. I had already brought to the board our policy on not doing the SLAC, the School Library Advisory Council. The board adopted instead to have our library manager come and present once she has reviewed the books with staff members, the committee, to ensure that those are appropriate books. And then that was the same for the acquisition of library materials. So what she did is the second attachment, which is our DOI plan, which is good until 2027. After the board approves it, I do have to submit it back to TEA to make it officially approved. But you'll see anything in pink, it's like pinkish purple, are changes that we were required to make. Another exemption that I discussed with Hannah is that no longer can we do interns. So legislation says that you must have at least a bachelor's degree. So we had to go ahead and take that intern part where they were working on their education and had at least 60 hours. So all of that was removed, and we do have where they have to have at least a bachelor's degree. You'll see that in pink. And then that is also, they added diagnosticians, which we don't employ diagnosticians. Ours come in through cluster. And then under site-based decision, we had that the school health advisory was going to be under our district advisory, and they said no, SHAC must be a standalone committee. So we removed SHAC from district advisory. And then the big section in the grievance policy, it's got the current law, and then what Hannah is recommending for us. And then if you keep going, the library material, the acquisition of the library material, current law, and then the proposed. So once the board approves it, we'll format it correctly, make sure it's ready to go. Hannah will give it one last look over, and then it'll be submitted to TEA.
Do I have a motion to accept the administrator's recommendations? Jesse makes a motion.
Second.
Memo seconds. Any discussion?
I don't know if this makes any difference or not, but I noticed that there's an old administrator that doesn't really make those changes to the graded writing
No, that is the original DOI.
Okay, because I saw the years, so I,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that was gonna change.
Yeah, so the original DOI committee stays on there,
Okay, got it.
and then you'll see right underneath it, where we added, the additional ones for this year. So updated, it's on page, I think it's page 5, updated committee for the purpose of the revisions due to the legislative session. We had Mr. Jimenez, Mr. Miller, myself, Tracy Gonzalez, Andrea Hislop, Cindy Welch, Gabby Garza, Norman Sandoval, and Rosario Guzman.
Okay.
And we pulled those from district advisory.
Only question I have, and it might be within here, is if you go to page 6, where it has proposed, and so we're allowing, it's allowing individuals with a bachelor's degree to transition into the teaching profession by working towards their teaching certification about being employed. Are you giving them a time frame somewhere else, like?
Yes, on their contract.
Okay.
So those were approved, the new contracts were approved by the board last February, where we changed it to where we gave them 3 years, and then we put them on just 90% of the salary. So that was the addendum that we put on their contracts.
Yeah.
And that was new, because we didn't used to have a set term, and so we did it as part of their contract. And then every year we update the addendum, so they know I'm down to 2 years now, and down to just having 1 year left.
All right, all those in favor of the recommendation, raise your hand. Unanimous. 6N.
So this month, we do have a budget amendments, budget amendment BA 1001, and as Ms. Gill explained earlier, we're only amending the revenue side because of the changes that were required due to several things, ADA changes, this year's older invoice, or both of the chapter 313s, and then we did increase taxes a little bit. So at the very bottom of the budget amendment, there is a short summary for the net effect of why we're going into fund drawing for 116.
Do I have a motion to accept the administrator's budget amendment recommendation?
I'll make the motion.
Claudia makes the motion. Selena seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor of budget amendment BA 1001, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Thank y'all so much, because I know it's hard to see that we're gonna have to do an additional 100,000, so we appreciate it. And just know that we're gonna be working on it on the expenditure side to see what we can continue to work on.
So like I said, from the team of 8, you've gotten good at squeezing dollars out of things.
We're just trying to work some, really squeezing out of things.
Moving on, item number 7, 7A.
That is the monthly revenue expenditure report. And when we compare September this year to September last year, we're pretty close in both revenue and expenditure for being about a quarter into the year.
Any comments on 7A? 7B.
7B is our monthly listing of check transactions over 500.
Any questions on 7B? Moving on to item 8, superintendent's report.
So for my report, just a couple of completed events, and then of course our upcoming events. We did have our end of the 6 weeks district faculty meeting. It was short, because we wanted them to have time to plan. We also had other meetings going on. We had Carnegie Math here, and we had Candor here for TIA. We had homecoming on October 3rd. I did attend the local government agency tabletop on October 8th. I met with the principals and Mr. Solis. And so we actually visited with local law enforcement and discussed reaction to an active shooter, the roles and responsibilities of that. October 10th, we had no students. It was a curriculum planning day. We wrapped up our team of 8 last week. Coming up, I invite everyone to come out on Tuesday, October 28th for our fall festival. We struggled getting it off the ground, but Ms. Yeager here has done a fantastic job reaching out to community people to do our trunk or treat. And then our different grade level groups will have different activities for the kids on October 28th. We will already end the second 6 weeks on October 31st. We have our Board of Trustees meeting coming, our November meeting will be scheduled for November 10th. So it'll be a pretty quick turnaround time since this one was pushed back because of the holiday on the 13th. So we do have it on the 10th. Okay, Veterans Day program will be November 11th. And then our Thanksgiving luncheon will be November 13th. We're doing it 2 weeks before the Thanksgiving break. But that was at the recommendation from our food service director because that Friday is a teacher work day. And so they felt like it's such a big event that to be off, to not have kids that Friday will help them kind of get the cafeteria back in order to wrap up the November lunches. November 14th is a curriculum planning day. Everyone is invited to join us for the National Honor Society induction, which will be on November 18th. I believe this is going to be the largest class of NHS inductees that I've seen since I've been here. It's really exciting. We even went back and triple checked to make sure we were doing it correctly, and we were. So a lot of it has to do with being an A. When you're an A high school, you're going to have a lot of NHS kids. So congratulations to Mr. Jimenez and his team.
So we in auditorium?
That'll be in the auditorium. Yes, sir.
Is Ms. Bonner still heading that program?
Yes. Yes, Ms. Bonner's team is heading that. Then we'll break November for fall break, Thanksgiving break, November 24th to the 28th. So, okay.
As a courtesy, I'm going to be here November 10th.
Okay.
I have a quick question on
Trunk or treat.
So those are our local businesses that donate to that? Is that somebody we reach out to and ask for? Do they volunteer?
So we put it out on Facebook that if they'd like to participate in trunk or treat to let us know. So it was kind of like an invitation to participate. And then over the past couple of years, we created a master list. So if we don't hear from somebody, we'll reach out to them and say, would y'all like to participate in trunk or treat?
So my husband's company, like roofing, would really like to be able to participate in that. So I didn't know if we had to sign up, but you just sent this on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay.
But I can have Bonnie reach out to you and give you some more information.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, we will be going into closed session at 7:10 p.m.
10 minutes late, sorry.
No, you good. Perfect.
Yeah, that's yes, sir.
Right, those are my alphabet. I need to do the whole alphabet for me.
You don't need to,
No,
I'm
good.
sorry.
I don't make me see.
November, October's always a little bit longer. November will be better.
I got it.
If you need to leave them, we'll gladly keep your treats for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
The only action is moving those tables.
Yeah, we are reconvening into open session at 7:43 PM. Only items to address is 6A. We moved into November's meeting, consider and take possible action regarding the purchase of library material and books. And 6H was moved to November's meeting as well. Consider and take possible actions to approve a resolution related to the Kenny County Appraisal District Director ballots. No further business, meeting adjourned at 7:44 PM.